So we're back with the 1996 Ford F-250. Have another issue that's been bothering me for a while. Been kind of just dealing with it, but finally got to the point to where I just can't deal with it anymore. So my steering shaft is not happy. I don't know if you guys can hear that. So when you're driving and you're cruising along and your steering wheel is just kind of in that neutral zone where you're just kind of making small corrections to keep it straight, every time it clunks. And when it does that, it feels sticky. So you'll be trying to do a small correction and it sticks and then it will go. And then the other thing it does is this. And that just cannot be good. And it's so bad that when it does it, like if I turn the steering all the way to lock and I'm not paying attention and I put a little bit too much pressure and it does that, it'll put the steering wheel off by like a quarter turn. So then when I'm driving straight, the steering wheel's like over here. Steering wheel being off just drives me crazy. So today we're fixing that. I ordered the Borgeson 00981 steering shaft that I think is the common repair for these trucks. It seems to be the best aftermarket steering shaft that everyone kind of goes for when they need to fix this problem with these trucks. So yeah, I think it's time to make that happen. So let's get to it. Okay, the first step is to get this U-joint assembly right here off. And that involves taking out this bolt and this bolt. They are 13 millimeter. Once you get those off, you can get that U-joint assembly out, and then you can slide the shaft through the boot that's in the firewall. You don't want to try to slide this whole U-joint assembly through the firewall because it'll ruin that boot. Okay, so there you go. The U-joint is out. That's it right there. Now we'll go underneath the hood and see what it's going to take to do the outside. I think the first thing I'm going to do is get my air filter out of the way. So I'm probably just going to take it off here. That's just a flathead or a 5/16. Alright, so the next thing you need to do is get that bolt off. Right there, it's another 13 millimeter. Once it's off in front of the rag joint there, you can slip the shaft off the spline of the steering box. So let's go ahead and get that done real quick. Okay, so we were able to get that bolt out. Now we're just going to try to slip the steering shaft off. I'm going to go grab a pry bar real quick. Alright, here we go. Okay, I'm gonna have to get both hands on this thing, but either way, I'm gonna get the pry bar in there and get it slipped off. Let me see if I can get that done real quick. Okay, so the instructions say to cut it off as need be. I think I could force it to fit without cutting it, but then it would have no compression. It would be fully compressed. And the whole point of the steering shaft being compressible is so if you get into a wreck, you don't have that steel rod right through your chest or whatever else. So I think I am going to go ahead and cut this thing off at the right length here. I just kind of set the slide in the middle to where it has about even compression either way, and then matched it up to the length of the other shaft. And then there was just two set screws, those right there, in the U-joint. I took those out. The Allen wrench was a 4mm. The nut was a 13. And then I'm just going to kind of eyeball this thing here. And looks like I'm going to cut about that much off of it. Then I'll get it put back on and we'll get it put in the truck. Okay, I got the shaft shortened up. Got the hole re-drilled. I marked that on there so that way I would know which side it was on previously, just because it's just the way that I am. I wanted the hole in the same spot that it was. So let's go ahead and see if we can get this thing back in here. Let's see if I can do this one-handed here. Probably not. So there's a boot in the firewall that it needs to go through. Let me get down there and see if I can get that done. Okay, we got it through the firewall. Let's go get it put on underneath the column and then we'll do the spline last. Okay, I'll come back and tighten those nuts up. Now I'm gonna center the steering wheel. There we go. And then we'll go slip the spline on. Front tires are actually aiming just a little bit to the left, I think. So we may want to turn this just a little bit to the left. Alright, there we go, it started. There we go. The wheel looks like it's going to be pretty close. Hope for my sake that it is. The front tires definitely look like they're going a little bit left, so here we go. We got all these bolts tightened down, and then I'll see what the wheel feels like. Okay, so as you can see it down there all nice and shiny. The new shaft is completely installed. A moment of truth. Let's see if it still does what it was doing. I took the old steering shaft and put it in the vise and twisted on it different ways with a pipe wrench and stuff to see if I could recreate the issue, and I couldn't. So I have my reservations as to whether or not this fixed it, but let's see. Yep, that fixed it. All my problems were in the shaft. So no clunking. It's actually much tighter too. I did have a lot more play in the steering than this, probably twice this much. Wow, this is gonna be nice. It's gonna be like driving a brand new truck. And no more of the weird ratcheting that it did. Man, that's awesome. I can't wait to drive this thing. Well, I guess that's gonna do it. Just another day of driving old trucks. People sell these old trucks and get rid of them because of the simplest problems, you know. That shaft was $289 plus shipping, so let's just say 300 bucks. And then an hour of my time to get it put in and a few hand tools. I was actually able to pick this old truck up fairly cheap for what it is these days, just because of all these little quirks and small problems that it has, which to me aren't that big of a deal. Anyway, appreciate y'all for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see y'all next time.